Hello there, this is Rom coming back at you with yet another smartphone couch video. Ha 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 ha. Look, instead of complaining about the men getting the women, work to be one. And just real quick, I'm just doing this, not doing a car video today. This is like just one of those things. I got a lot of stuff to do today. Hey, I got a life outside of this, y'all. I got a life outside of this. I got things to do. But I really wanted to talk about that. I was going to talk about something else, but you know what? There's a lot of dudes out here complaining about the men who they think are getting the women. Whether it's Chad and Tyrone or complaining about these women going for Pookie and Ray Ray, whatever. Stop bitching about it. Damn. All right, yeah, they getting their cut. Okay, fine. There's 4 billion women in the world. Instead of bitching about what they doing, let them get their cut, and then you do what you can to fix up. It's really that damn simple. It ain't hard. Shoot, I've been seeing that since I was young. I was a teenager in the 80s and still getting some, even before Body Game. And in the 80s, especially in the black community, it was all about being that light-skinned brother. Some dudes think that's still the thing, but that's another conversation. And obviously I ain't a light-skinned brother, but I ain't worried about it. And shoot, even when I was in college, there were some dudes getting it like crazy, more than me. They were way higher on that select thing. I ain't worried about it. Like I told this brother who was getting some stuff, I was like, nah, I'm gonna get mine. Regardless. Look, I ain't worried about it. I don't care what you got going on. I don't care what your physicality is, whatever. You can improve yourself to get whatever. If you don't like your body build, you feel like your body build is there, hit the gym. That's why I be talking about Body Game. You can still have the barber bless you. You can still fix up. You can still figure out how to talk to women. You can just figure out how just to talk to women. You can figure it out. You can improve yourself. And then when I talk about a tribe, all these women don't want the same damn man. Okay, like you got a lot of guys complaining. They say these women want Chad and Tyrone. Okay, but every woman don't want them. Have you had a conversation with every single woman on this planet? And I don't care. Even when you get women on these shows or interviewing them, man, that's a tiny percentage. You ain't even hitting 1% of the female population. Let me say that again. You ain't even hitting 1% of the female population. You don't know. All you can do is fix up and be your best and just keep going and find the women down for you. I don't care what you are. I don't care what your age is. I don't care what your race is. I don't care about any of these dumbass statistics, all of this shit. If you want to get something, instead of bitching about who you think getting to play, why don't you work to do it? I don't care what it is. I don't care. You might not have that square jaw. You might not be 6'2", whatever. Because if you actually go outside and touch grass, you'll see there's some dudes who aren't any of those things. They still getting women. Because, yeah, physicality, yeah, women do pay attention to physicality. Let's not play around with that. But, what do I say? At least get yourself in shape. Work on what you can. Fix what you can. Because, yeah, physicality play a big part, but I'm going to tell you what. You can have that fancy car, whatever. Or let's imagine your body is a car. Your mind still got to drive that shit. You still got to have the right mindset. But see, I'm seeing a lot of guys complaining. Or even when I did that video the other week talking about stop bitching about Pookie and Ray Ray. Still some guys want to do it. And even when I did that video yesterday talking about like, yes, there's some guys out here getting money. There's still somebody saying, well, you got to pay something. Stop bitching, man. Damn. Sound like a goddamn bitch. And then when they want some woman don't want to let you crawl on top of her and shit. And yeah, I'm going to get a little mad because I'm like, dude, it's right there. You can see it. Every single thing I'm talking about, if you actually go outside and touch grass, you can see it happen. But if you got that mindset that you can't do it or whatever, that's you. That ain't everybody else. Hell, when I had my medical emergency 2 years ago, there were a few nurses that were showing some interest. They were showing some interest. In fact, when I went to the therapy center right after getting out the hospital, there was a guy. This was an older guy. He had like a walker, and he was still getting some play. And to this day, I swear, like behind the curtain, his last day, I was hearing some kissing sounds. That dude's still getting his. Whatever. He just didn't have that. He had the right mindset. He was still going to get his. Shoot. I mean, come on, man. Don't have any excuses out here. Every single man need to work on first being his best self. I don't give a shit what the issue is. He ain't stopping. He ain't stopping. Get out that mindset that, oh, well, I ain't this, I ain't that. You right. You are you. Be your best self and then see which women like it. And as I've said, 4 billion women in this world, all of them don't like the same thing. If you actually talk to these women, they like stuff. I've known women, whatever the case, I've known some women who wanted short kings. I've known some women married to short kings, had children with them. I've known some women that went for every single race on this planet. I've known some women who didn't want that square-jawed guy. I've known some women who were going crazy over some big men. Some big men. I don't care what it is. Because even for everything I talk about, you ain't got to be perfect. All I'm saying is just be your best. Even when I talk about body game, what I say? Your best body. If you endomorphic, you ain't going to be ectomorphic no matter what you do. And if you ectomorphic, it's only so much weight you can do. But you can still take care of what you got and then figure that out. And then you got so many factors that go into which men that any woman is going to pick. Because you in a certain social class, you need to figure that out, or subculture. I know some nerdy dudes. They getting women like crazy. They nerdy. They might be called dorks or whatever. They still got their women. You check any subculture in America, any subculture, well, except maybe the incels, but any subculture with women, the women want that type of guy. I don't care what the religion is, how much money is flowing, what it is. There's some guys in it tearing up. I've met guys who I would label Mr. Goodbar tearing up some women in every social class that I've encountered, every subculture that I've encountered. But they just had the right mindset. Don't make any excuses out this motherfucker. And I do mean don't make any excuses. And I'm seeing too many things like that because, see, here's the thing with women. They ain't really feeling sorry for you. If you up there bitching and shit, what you expect? You gonna get some sympathy pussy? Hell to the no. You gotta just be your best self and then see which women like it. And you know what? There's gonna be some women who don't like it. Whatever. But if you get smart with it, you learn how to avoid them, period. If you get smart with it, you know how to find the women that's going to be down for whatever. Whether it's that social class or whatever. Like last week when I was talking about that whole Pookie and Ray Ray thing. I know for a fact that every woman ain't going for some Pookie or Ray Ray. A fact. Because I know the women. They ain't dipping down like that. And even if you some Chad or something like that, every woman ain't going for that. I know for a fact. If you actually go outside, actually interact with people, actually see what's going on out here and get out your little bubble or something, you can see what's up. You can see what's up. I've seen dudes with different heights. I still remember this young lady who was working out at the gym. She was about 5'4", her husband was about 5'6". And man, she was fine. Oh my goodness. But did he give a fuck? You know, this 5'6" dude got this little fine body young lady, 2 kids. She dropped out 2 kids for his ass. If you go out there, you go to any place with some people, you can see whatever. But all he did was work on it. And then let me say something else too. You get all these dudes thinking, oh, you gotta have money or something. Then what the fuck you doing? You making money? You doing stuff? Whatever you think. I don't care what you think the top is. Okay, if you think that's the top, or you think you gotta do this or that, what are you doing to get there? What are you doing to get there? And even if you think, look, first of all, that height thing, let me get into that, because you get some guys thinking, well, I ain't that tall. No, your thing is, it's your mindset, because I've said several times, there's been some short kings, they tearing up, because they ain't have that fucked up mindset. And even some guys, there's this one guy who, like, he put on some, got his limbs lengthened and stuff, got up to 6 feet. And I guarantee, you can send, if you know him, send this video to him. Women gonna find something else to reject him on. They gonna find something else. And it'll probably be some woman who he wants is gonna find something to reject him on. And if I'm getting harsh or something, well, no, I'm gonna be harsh. Because guys out here complaining. I've known guys on the spectrum, on the autism spectrum, getting women, having children, having grandchildren, whatever. There's somebody, if a man is willing to be his best, there's a woman for every single man willing to be his best. Hell, there's a woman for every single man out here just being himself. I've mentioned several times about this dude who did a webinar for me. He said every man, no matter what, can get 10 women. Every man. You might have to travel for it, do whatever. That's without changing anything. But damn, if you know women checking out, if I'm telling you women checking out bodies, okay, work on your body. And for most women, you need to be clean. Take a motherfucking shower. You know? If women ain't liking you, maybe you need to like hit the barber. Let the barber bless you. Whatever. You can find that out. Whatever. Ain't no excuses. Even your age, and I'm going to talk about age later this week. Even your age. I know a lot of young women checking out men old enough to be their fathers. In fact, I said, shoot, I get more attention from some young women just having all of this, having some definite gray. And I'm going to get into that some more. There ain't no excuses out here. Stop making excuses. And I see too many men making excuses. Why should a woman want to be with you? Seriously, why should they want to be with you? You got to have that mindset like, you know what? I'm going to work on being my best. And then you got a lot of guys out here, hey, they want supermodel of the world. And I understand that. I did a video on it. I did an on-demand video. Hey, I'll put a link for it in the description box. But there's something in there I told the men to do. You got to get the video if you want to see it. But you can still do whatever. You still can be your best. You can still work on it. Physically, mentally, whatever. No excuses. Because the second you start making excuses, oh, they don't want this or that, you ain't gonna get it. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. And I want y'all to think about that. And I know some people are like, yeah, why are you yelling? Dude, people calling me a coach. Coaches ain't always like, oh, well, they do this and do that. Nah. Because you tired of that shit. Sometimes there be some dudes commenting and bitching in my comments. And as soon as I see that shit, I delete that shit. I don't give a fuck. You got to think like a winner. You going to roll with me. You got to think like a winner. I don't care what it is. There's always going to be something with somebody. Even a height thing. There's some dudes who say, well, I'm over 6 feet. I'm over 6'2". I'm having trouble. Well, you got something you got to work on then, motherfucker. Everybody got to work on something. Just work on being your best. If you work on just being having a good presentation, if you work on having a good conversation, you most of the way there. Man, these women out here thirsty. And I don't give a shit what the fuck these women say. I don't care how independent. They want a man. They want a man. These women want somebody to call them. They want somebody to hit them up, to text them, whatever. I don't give a shit what these women thinking. Only thing is, they want a winner. They want a man with a winning attitude. Not a man crying, talking about, oh, you going for that guy? You going for that guy? Why should they want that man up in them? Why should they take a chance that that type of man will get them pregnant? The fuck they want to lose her for? Women want a winner. Always remember that. Always remember that. Heck, I'm gonna be talking about that on my Patreon. Anybody, I don't care who you are. I don't care. Cause all the women I seen out here, there's a man for them. I don't care what their religion is, politics is, whatever. Stop bitching. All right. If you want to be like that top man, you can be it. All right. Instead of like worrying about all these women going for that, be that man then. Be that man. I don't care what you got going on for you. Ain't nothing stopping you. Ain't nothing stopping you from improving your intelligence. Ain't nothing stopping you from improving your appearance, improving your conversation. I don't give a shit. No excuses. No excuses. So anyway, that's all I got for right now. Like I said, I can't always drive, but just get out here and do your thing. No excuses. You can get something. You don't have to get every single woman. You don't need to. It's 4 billion. You ain't gonna get every single woman. You don't have that much time in a day. You should be on some type of mission anyway, so you don't have to put up with that much, but you can get something. Every single man, all right? So anyway, that's all I got for now, and I'll talk to y'all. Peace.